Welcome to Takeover. As you can see, this week we paid our bills, so we're back in our studio as regular, and we're back to give you guys the best sports debate on YouTube.
As you know, my name is Josh.
My name is Deandra.
And my name is Kim, and this is Takeover.
So, unless you have been living under a rock, you should know that the NBA season is underway. We've been waiting for this for a long time. However, there has been a lot of controversy of who's the best in the league. So, who do you guys think is the best?
I think that the answer is quite simple. A lot of people are going to tell you Kawhi. A lot of people might say Giannis. Some people might even want to throw LeBron in there. But I'm going to stick with Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant was and still is the best player in the NBA right now, simply because the guy's a walking bucket. I mean, tell me something that on the court, on the offensive end, that Kevin Durant cannot do. There's nothing. He can give you a bucket out of the mid-range. He can isolate from the three-point line to the post. He can hit pull-up threes. He can hit standstill threes. He can finish at the rim with the best of them. There's nothing the man can't do. Now, some people are going to look at me and say that he's going to be a different player because of the Achilles injury, which I won't disagree, he will lose some explosiveness. But the fact of the matter is, Kevin Durant, you can sit him on an elbow and just give him the ball, and he's still going to give you 20 a night. I mean, he's a game-changing force, and he's a guy that you can build your entire team around just because with him on the floor, you don't need anything else. You just have, he can just get you a bucket whenever you need it. Just ask the Warriors. I mean, you saw in the finals when he was hurt, they were lost.
I'm glad you brought up that Achilles injury and how he won't be the same, because that's the main reason I feel like Kawhi is the best player in the league. I understand that Kevin Durant, he put up a lot of scoring numbers. He can drop 50 any given night. He can score at will at some point. Any given night. But I don't think he'll be the same. And I think that 20 points a night, that lack of explosiveness, is going to go towards Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard isn't only the best player in the league, he's the most efficient player in the league. During playoff series, he shoots 55% and he goes to 60%. He's shooting high levels. And he's had high level of points each game. And he's the best two-way in the league. In my opinion, the best two-way has to be the best player in the league. This guy's kind of like a mixture of Mike and Scotty. He can post you up. He can shoot the three. He can drive when there's no real way of stopping Kawhi. He's honestly really strong for his position as well. So, I mean, putting all that together, I don't really see how you can put anyone over Kawhi. And the fact that he has the clutch factor, too. Kawhi's not going to pass the ball and be scared to give you a bucket if necessary. He did to the 76ers. He does it to a whole lot of teams. He traveled. He got away with it. He still made the shot over Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Okay. So I'm talking about overall perspective. Kawhi is the best player because he can lock you down. He can score on you. And, he doesn't really care who you are. I feel like he's going to go at you regardless. And, he's the new king. You saw the new commercial that he had. So
sorry, Kevin Durant's always been underrated on the defensive end. So I'm not going to call him the best defender, but he can get you a stop too.
Kevin Durant has always had an all-star point guard as well. Go ahead.
So I am going with the king, LeBron James. A lot of people seem to forget who LeBron is. He has went to 8 straight finals. That's nothing new. We all know that. 3 championships, 3 finals MVP, a 4-time league MVP, 12-time all NBA first team, and a 5-time all NBA defensive team. Not when he was out last year, he still was able to average 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. I haven't seen anybody else do that. People love to talk about age. Well, I would just like to address this. When you are older, it does not matter how old you are. You could be 50 years old. If you are producing on the court, then what does age have to do with it? Let me name some players right now. You have Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Al Horford, Lou Williams, Danny Green, who are in their 30s. And they're still putting up numbers.
Okay, but LeBron's 35.
Older than all those guys.
And he's got a lot more playoff minutes he's got a lot more playoff minutes on his body than those guys do. Because as you said, he's been to 8 straight finals. That takes a toll on a man's body.
But if you are my point is, if you are producing, then what does that have to do with anything?
Producing to what point? I feel like one of the statement games early was the first game where they played against the Clippers and he saw who the greatest player was, Kawhi. What's your answer for 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists?
He did that against the Utah Jazz as well. Anyway, LeBron James He did not perform well against the Clippers that game.
He didn't perform well as Kawhi.
He didn't perform as well as Kawhi, duly noted. However, you have to think, you win as a team and you lose as a team. The bench for the Clippers outscored the Lakers.
That's not my point though. LeBron had
What's your point?
LeBron has 18 points. Kawhi, I keep bringing up this new commercial because I feel like he's trolling LeBron James. And the commercial, it's saying it's his city. And he has the crown rolling around the keychain. It felt like he's taking over his city, and he punched LeBron in the mouth as soon as he came in the building. The Staples Center was
made it like
the
that.
Staples Center was static when LeBron had that fadeaway three, but ever since that, it felt like it kind of quieted down. It was more of a Kawhi show, and it felt like LeBron was scared to take on the task. I mean, Kawhi had 30 points because KCP was guarding him, but like, where's LeBron going to step in and be like, oh, I'm the best player, let me go guard the best player? LeBron's scared. LeBron may be scared of this moment. Kawhi's not scared of any moment. He went down there and took down the
LeBron also
Warriors.
is no longer a defensive presence. We've all seen this coming. It's been happening. You
Great.
see all the highlights on Instagram. He doesn't play defense anymore. He's stopped paying attention on that side. So
Well,
I think you have to put that into the conversation.
Which
too.
it kind of brings me to you. How do you think that injury is going to mess with Kevin Durant's lateral quickness and his way to
lateral
be-
quickness. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, we saw what happened to Sean Livingston when he came back. He lost a step.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the thing. But again, like I said, he's a walking bucket. He might not have.
But the
hold
game's
on.
played on two sides, though. It's played on two sides. It's played on
Please let me
two
talk,
sides.
sir. It's played on two sides, absolutely. But he is still as long, and he is still knows the game the way that he does. So the fact of the matter is, no matter, I mean, he might lose a step laterally, but he's always going to have those long arms, and he's always going to have that knowledge of the game.
But will he be able to show up? Everything you're saying is speculation about how he will come back.
He's
if
Kevin
it
Durant.
works out. He's Kevin Durant.
He's the best
okay.
pure scorer we have ever seen in the NBA. You can't tell me that he's just going to suddenly, he's just no longer the same player.
You don't
Once a
know if he's
shooter's
good.
always
You
a
don't
shooter.
Exactly. You,
But
like
you
I
know,
said,
but
you can
shooting
give him
is not
the
a
ball.
part of his
You
game.
can.
Shooting doesn't make Kawhi Leonard as great as he is. And you gotta think about it. Kawhi has led lesser
Isn't
teams
this the
than
same
Kevin
Kawhi?
Durant.
Isn't this the same Kawhi Leonard that they held out of 22 games last year on purpose because of his legs?
Yeah, he didn't want to play. I mean,
He didn't want to play.
He didn't wanna- I feel
He
like
didn't want to play.
Not for the
I
Spurs.
feel like if you're the greatest player, you should want to play every single game. That's what Mike did.
he was
Mike hated Jerry Krause just because he held him out of games because he broke his foot. So you can't tell me he's the greatest player if he doesn't want to
That
play.
was 2 seasons ago.
But-
I'm talking about right now.
My response to you about the Kawhi, going back to Kawhi and LeBron, I just feel like, yes, Kawhi is an elite player. He's one of the best defensive players in the league,
The
if
best
not
defensive.
the best. There you go. But anyway, you also have to take into consideration the things that LeBron have done or does that Kawhi does not.
Which is what?
Kawhi just started becoming a decent passer. If you look in the finals, there were times where Pascal would run to the inside of the lane and he wouldn't even pass the ball. Also, you have to think about LeBron. Actually, Kawhi is just now hitting a career high of 9 rebounds. LeBron has done that for over 300 games.
We're talking about right now. See, back the LeBron you're talking about, the LeBron we know and love.
Okay.
He's
3 years
off of
ago.
that cliff.
Okay.
Prime LeBron was the best two-way player in my thing. That's why he was the
Okay.
best player in the league. Kawhi's doing the things that LeBron used to do.
Kawhi's peak year, he had 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Great.
Scoring at 46% or 42%, whichever one. LeBron had an off season, 27 points, averaging 27 points, 8 rebounds and 8 assists.
Where did Kawhi
scoring
go?
at 52%.
Kawhi's in the playoffs,
52%.
What team was he on?
Kawhi's on the
So you know what that means?
Yeah.
Kawhi's peak year.
I don't think that's his peak year.
Was
though.
the-
Your
that was- I'm
careers are
talking
going to be
about as
judged.
to right
The
now, that was
careers
his
are
peak
going to
year.
be judged
As
in the
to
playoffs.
right now,
And
that
what
was
Kawhi
Kawhi's
has done, I don't
peak
think you
year.
can ignore that.
He went to the finals and that was his peak year last year. Everything career high.
I mean, he played for
So
the
what
Spurs. He's
LeBron
pretty
had an
boxed
off
in.
year, LeBron's off year was higher than Kawhi's peak year.
But I'm saying the things that Kawhi can do, I just feel like it's a better grasp when what LeBron James can do at his age. LeBron is aging. LeBron is not
Okay.
the same player.
Okay. Like
So
I said
will he be
before-
able to keep up with Kawhi?
Okay.
We have other topics that we need to get
Okay,
to
let
on
me
this
say,
show.
let me say this last
no,
point.
you
Let me
said
say this
okay.
last
saying.
point. I'm gonna say this
I don't
last
feel
point.
like he's better.
I'm gonna say this last point and I'm gonna be done.
Okay.
Kawhi is not the facilitator that LeBron is. Okay, he
Okay.
cannot lead a team like Kawhi.
Okay, you said
No, I
he can't
mean,
lead
no,
a team?
Kawhi cannot lead a team like LeBron.
What was last year?
Kawhi brought him a championship on
He
the
They've
fell
never had a
off.
championship.
He would fall off in the finals, and Kyle Lowry.
Kawhi?
Yes, he
Fell
was.
off?
There were times.
In the
There were
finals?
times in the finals where
'Cause he was
would
on
fall
one
off and other
leg.
teams would- Okay.
But he's being triple teamed and double teamed because he's obviously the best player. So I mean, he's not gonna do it by himself. But of course, other
Point
players will
blank
show up.
period. Neither Kawhi is not in the conversation for the greatest of all time.
We're not talking about greatest of all
Man.
time.
We're talking about right now.
talking about
right
right now.
I'm using that as my point.
Okay.
Kawhi is not in the conversation for the greatest of all time. He is not held up to names like Michael Jordan, Kareem, Larry Bird, and Magic. Is my last point.
Michael Jordan, at this point in his career, just like LeBron, was kind of on the Wizards and was not even.
At this
he's
point in his
still
career, he's
the
retired.
greatest
We have a new segment on Takeover called Take It or Leave It, where we'll give you guys a scenario and my cast members either take it or they'll leave it. I'll start it off. After Golden State's horrible loss to OKC, trailing by 42 points at one point in the game, is dynasty over? Take it or leave it. Why
Why are we leaving it? For the simple fact of Klay Thompson's not there. All right, because if you put Klay Thompson on that court, it changes the complexion of that entire offense. If you put Klay Thompson on the court, you basically make it into a 4-on-4 game when Klay Thompson's sitting in the corner, because you have to keep a body on Klay Thompson at all times, because if you don't, he's going to torch you.
The dynasty being over means they're not going to another finals. I don't think they're going to a finals this year, so that's
And
why I
they
take
even
it.
struggle to make the playoffs. You can't lose versus the OKC team and rebuild.
Okay, but see,
I understand it's
good.
one game.
But
And
OKC is
I
not
know
that
Klay-
bad.
I know that Klay Thompson is gone, but like, where's the rest of the depth on the team?
I got the next question. You mentioned the Hawks, and I want to get y'all's opinion on it. Do the Hawks make the playoffs this year? Show me your answers. Show me your answers. There we go. There we go.
I mean, I
There we
take
go.
it because the East is so weak.
The East is a joke.
But look, I understand. I just said that, Atlanta fans, but look, listen here, real close. The curse is still looming. The whole city is bad. The Falcons are bad. Everyone's bad. Georgia's bad.
Didn't the Braves just make the
same-
playoffs?
Did they lose?
They did lose, absolutely, but they
10-0
still
in
made
the
the
first inning,
playoffs.
right?
They still made the playoffs.
They're choking. They're choking. So I'm
No,
gonna take it,
baseball, son.
but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt.
This is what you got to think about, all right? Trae Young is 20 years old. John Collins is 21. Kevin Huerter's 20. DeAndre Hunter's 22. Cam Reddish is 19. This core is Jabari Parker's 24. They have a core of young players who average the age of 21. Half of these guys can't. Yes, right now their core, they are on average about 21 years old. Half of this core can't go buy a drink legally. And Trae Young is out here giving people buckets. You see that step back he hit against the Magic? I'm telling you, this is going to become the new thing. You're going to see him popping up on highlight reels all year.
JJ Barea.
That was not JJ Barea is in Dallas, son.
Oh, you said
I don't
the
know what you're
Mavericks.
talking- I said Magic.
Oh, you said the Magic.
Yeah, he put it on Markelle Fultz.
I take it like you guys pretty much summed it up. I
Yeah.
take it because the East is the East,
Sweet.
and
And because the Hawks are building a dynasty.
they're on a roll right now. Is simply why.
building
But
a
we shall
dynasty.
see. The next question I have for you guys is Lou Williams. Him playing amazing, coming off of the bench, helping the Clippers, making it easy for Kawhi to come in the game. He's playing starter minutes. Do you guys think he should become a starter? Okay,
No.
why?
I'm leaving because, I mean, he likes a six-man role. He doesn't really need to be a starter, and I feel like it gives their bench more of an explosion. You don't need all of them on the court at one time unless it's necessarily crunch time. So, I mean, you don't need that much of a scoring load because if you don't have them on there, like, who's really going to take over the game? Lou Williams can take over a game coming off of the bench. So why would you take that away from him?
To quote Drake, I mean, he's a six-man like Lou Will. That's his role. That's been his role since he came in the NBA. That's been his role since he got drafted. I mean, there's no reason to mess with a good thing. He's always been a six-man. He's always been an ignitable scorer. And I think if you put him in the starting lineup, it almost mess with the team's identity because he's not a plus on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take him out, who are you going to sit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Just wasn't familiar with.
yeah, and just keep him in his comfort zone because him and Harrell coming off the bench, that's a fantastic connection. There's no reason to mess with a good thing.
My last question. If LeBron doesn't win a championship this year, is the MJ race over with?
Is the MJ race over with? Yeah, because it already is over with. MJ is the
It
greatest
was
of all
never
time.
a conversation.
Yeah, it's not a conversation.
I'm glad I've met two other people that
It's
actually
never been.
have brains. Overall, the show is done for today. Guys, tell me who you thought won. NBA season is here. You see my Thunder out here repping beating the Warriors. We're not going to do much this season, though. All right, take over and out.